who's this for?
Anybody who wants a little more confidence while they're on the course. It's probably not for a golf pro. It's probably not for the low single-digit handicap. But I'm a 15, but I still can't remember everything. And this is just a double check. So I think for new golfers, for higher handicappers, it's great. Medium handicap range, it's great. Weekend golfers, 9-hole leagues, where people aren't just playing more for fun. Corporate, that's who it's for. I also think there's an untapped market with high school golf teams because you can actually use Quick Caddy in a tournament.
Golf Smarter number 751. Introducing Quick Caddy, a reference bag tag for challenging situations with the inventor, Karen Perlman.
This is Golf Smarter, sharing stories, tips, and insights from great golf minds to help you lower your score and raise your golf IQ. Here's your host, Fred Green.
Welcome to the Golf Smarter podcast, Karen.
Thanks, Fred. Thanks for having me on.
Well, let's thank Matt, that's working well. Let's thank Pat Helmers for introducing us. He met you at a golf show, right?
At a trade show.
Yeah.
That was the best part of the trade show, was meeting Pat.
I'm sure he's a connector. He can put people together, and he's a wonderful person. So tell me about your golf life and why we're going to be going to your product that's fascinating and helpful. But let's find out about you first.
Okay. Well, I actually started golfing when I had to plan our golf outings for our company. And I decided I wasn't going to sit around and watch everybody golf. I was going to learn to golf. So that was one of the first times I started golfing was through work.
Yeah. And that's not an uncommon story where people are like, yeah, I had to go to these charity tournaments and play once or twice a year. And I would take a lesson before, or the people would say, I've been playing my whole life, but I always go for a lesson because of the charity tournament. Those things motivate more people to play golf than anything, which is great, I guess.
I wish I would have started when I was younger.
We all do. We all do. I actually once asked somebody on this show, so how do you become a good golfer? He said, start when you're 6. It's like, great, that helps.
Yeah, never had been to the course, before then. So
how often do you play now?
Well, this summer, because things happened with my former job. I was at my former job for over 30 years, and I was a marketing executive at a bank that grew like 3,200%, and we finally got acquired.
Okay.
So
you were a marketing person.
Yes, I was a marketing person. I was our chief brand officer, head of corporate marketing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been a shock. Yeah. That's not.
Yeah, I thought it would happen one day. I just didn't think
it would be tomorrow.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
so
no.
I was there until June of last summer. So actually last summer I got to play a little more golf.
Oh, and so what was it? Let's talk about the product for a little bit here. It's called Quick Caddy, and it's something you hang on your bag, but it's a reference guide to hang on your bag.
Correct.
Right. And so what made you think I need to have this not only on my bag, everybody needs to have this on their bag?
Well, about a dozen years ago, a colleague of mine gave me this paper wheel, and it was smaller than the actual Quick Caddy, and it was hard to read. It was fraying, and it had some very outdated information on it. And my match play partner and I used to take it out when we were playing double matches. And we're like, this is really good, only we can't read some of it, and it's hard to see, and it needs more information. And that's how I came up with, the idea to make it better and reinvent a golf wheel that was waterproof, was easier to read, was hanging right on your bag when you needed it.
And you succeeded. Well, you're a marketing person, so you knew how to design one of these things, right?
You know what? There are a lot of steps involved.
Sure. And who did you talk to about this? About what should I put on the Quick Caddy?
Well, I did a ton of research, and I also used my own experiences of where do I get in trouble? What do I need to know? When I'm in a divot, I'm like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing, but it's nice to double check.
Right.
And it just helps with your confidence.
So these are golf tips that you're providing in here. And unfortunately, we're not doing video because I'm holding up the Quick Caddy now. And I like the retractable part for the bag tag. I think anything should be retractable like that. Even my cables when I charge things are all retractable. So the first thing you'll notice when you open this up is it has the top rule changes for 2020. That you list various things that people ask about, like, well, what can I do this now? How much time can I go look for a ball? You have different things. How did you decide on these items? Well, and how did you get them down into such small descriptions?
I just thought there was a massive overhaul in 2019 with so many new rules that came out that not everybody knew what they were. And so I basically tried to shorten them up and put some of the most important ones in the Quick Caddy.
All right, so let's talk about some of the things. First of all, who's this for?
Who is it for? Well, I use it. And I think it is for anybody who wants a little more confidence while they're on the course. It's probably not for a golf pro, although I'll tell you a story in a little while about that. It's probably not for the low single digit handicap, but I'm a 15, so I can play golf, but I still can't remember everything. And this is just a double check. So I think for new golfers, it's great. For higher handicappers, it's great. Medium handicap range, it's great. Weekend golfers, 9-hole leagues where people aren't, just playing more for fun. Corporate golf where you play 3 times a year. Yeah. I think that's who it's for. I also think there's an untapped market with high school golf teams.
Oh, interesting. That's a great idea.
I know, because you can actually use Quick Caddy in a tournament.
You can. It is legal for the tournament use. Why? Because it is coaching. That's kind of interesting. There's things
you can have a caddy with you who's going to give you advice.
That's true.
So this is the Quick Caddy.
So, and the name Quick Caddy.
Right.
Awesome.
And I did talk with the USGA to find out if that was really the case. And they said, yes, you can use it.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna go into some of the situations that it has here on the front and the back. It's a folded piece, but there's information on 3 sides and the logo up on front. But let's take a quick time out, and we'll be back right after this. So mostly the Quick Caddy is situational, golf situational instruction, and on the front and the back, or in the middle and the back. I love the way it closes with that little tab, and it's waterproof. That's Awesome. Great idea. So you have on the wheel, it says downhill lie, uphill lie, side lie with the feet below the ball, side lie, feet above the ball, in the rough, in the deep rough, sand trap, flat lie, sand trap, uphill lie, sand trap, downhill lie, plugged bunker lie. Oh boy, did I have one of those the other day. And you on the plugged bunker lie, I was on a plugged bunker lie that was uphill. It was plugged into the side of the hill, and I had to stand outside of the bunker, well above it, to try to get on this green side bunker up onto a small green. I even videoed. I'm going to throw that up on Instagram. I have a video because my friend.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, my friend he said, "There's no way you're going to make that. He says, I'll give you $10 if you make it onto the green. If you make it within 10 feet. Well, wait a minute. You just $10 on the green, and now it has to be within 10 feet of the pin. And he's like, okay, $5 if you get it onto the green. He owes me $5. So
nice.
Thank you. It was a pretty good shot. But that's not the shot that he liked that I had. I had a good round the other day. So on the plug bunker lie, it says open stance, play ball little back, close face slightly, and swing aggressively. Where did you get that information?
I got that information from reading all sorts of articles, books, vetted them against each other, and then also had a number of golf pros review all my tips.
Wow. You read all that stuff and were able to get it down to 12 words?
I try, yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
I did copyright the whole wheel.
Oh, you did? Smart.
I did.
And of course, the reminders on here, consistent pre-shot routine. I'm a huge fan of that. Visualize your shot. That's what Golf Smarter is about. Commit and trust it. Ease tension. Those are all Golf Smarter main points. That's what we've been talking about for 15 years here. So that's what attracted me to this, is like, we're very consistent.
Well, I had one coach, Joe Bosco. He actually wrote a book called Real Golf. And he was very into the mental side of the game. Mm-hmm. And he actually helped me with these reminders.
You're going to help me find him so we can get him on the show too?
Yeah, we can. He actually moved to North Carolina.
I won't hold that against him.
Okay.
Okay.
But he's got a book. He's very, and as I said, into the mental side. I remember one time when I was at his practice facility, he put some contraption on my head and for putting, and basically he wouldn't let me putt until I heard this special tone, meaning like my brain waves had stopped.
Wow.
It was pretty cool.
And it worked? How'd your putting?
I don't know. I don't know. I just brought a new putter. So
I hope it was a Seymour. Anyway, no, it probably wasn't. All right. Then we go to the back of the quick caddy, and you have other situations: over water, feet in bunker, ball out, ball on hard lie, over trees, low punch shot, pitching, ball in divot, pitch over obstacle, chipping, wind, and over water. So I brought this with me. I got to be honest with you. I brought this with me yesterday.
Okay.
I had it on my bag, and I'm playing with guys that I play with on a regular basis. And on the, on the first hole, I got lucky. On the first hole, one of my playing partners' ball landed right on a grate, where water goes down when it's really wet, because it's a very wet course, Presidio in San Francisco. And so the ball landed, then rolled right to the grate. And he asked, what's the relief I get on this? Or do I get relief? And I went, aha, I have the quick caddy. That's going to help. I couldn't find anything.
Oh, on relief. I just put the top rule changes.
Yeah.
And I don't think that rule has changed.
Right. So, but that's one I, like I'm not what I have. One guy in the group was a rule. I don't want to. He's a rules fanatic. He loves that stuff. So we always refer to him. But I wanted to be the guy with the answer on that.
And then I'm sorry.
And I wasn't able to help. And then we later on was another lost ball situation, which there are always those in a round. It's like, what's the scoring here? And again, I look to. So I was hoping. Maybe for the higher handicap, or that, another version of this possibility would be things like situations that calls for a ruling, right? What's the ruling on that? Because, the one thing for me is these situations you should be practicing, and you should know what to do when you get to them. And that's what I really am looking forward to using Quick Caddy for, is when I go out to practice, it's like, okay, here, let me pull up something here that is obviously common. That's why it's on the Quick Caddy. And it's like, let me practice that.
Great idea.
So I don't have to refer to it. But the rule stuff, I'd love to see a Quick Caddy on the rulings, on various rulings.
I was actually, and this is another crazy idea I have, and I bought a domain, golfrulings.com. I haven't done anything with it, but what if you could put in your phone and just ask for a ruling, and somebody was there to provide the information?
I think the USGA has an app for the rules. You might want to look into that. An app on the phone that you can do the rules. I don't know how the reference is on it. And the course that I played at yesterday, I had no phone signal, so it wouldn't matter.
Right. That's the problem with the phone. I used to keep tips on my phone. And I would, go to try to look it up. And by the time I found it, and then by the time I could see it, it was like a long time.
Right. Cool. So, let's see here. How long ago did you release Quick Caddy, and what have you been doing to promote it?
Well, I released it in August of 2019. So I've been promoting through email, went to a trade show, been talking to my friends.
Yeah, right. And hanging out at golf courses.
Right. Hanging out at golf courses, talking to pro shops. I actually have some people working on trying to get it into retail stores.
Cool. And how have you been selling it? Which trade show did you do?
I did a small trade show in the Chicago area.
So you met Pat.
That's where I met Pat, and that was the good part of the trade show.
What was the response at a trade show? So mostly these trade shows are golfers walking around, not necessarily golf industry people.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So what was the response?
Well, there were a number of them who bought the Quick Caddy and who were interested in the Quick Caddy. And then there were a bunch that were like, oh, if my ball's in a divot, I just kick it out. I can't tell you how many of those there were.
Really? So you met all the cheaters in the Chicago area?
Exactly. I mean, I'm like, really? Yeah, I just moved my ball. Like, okay.
Thanks a lot. That's
right.
Really wonderful to know.
I will not be playing golf with you.
Exactly. And if I do, I'm going to keep an eye on you.
Right.
And where, if we wanted to pick up a Quick Caddy, what's the details there? How do we find it? What are we paying?
Well, we are paying $19.99, and you can find it at quickcaddy.com, and it's Caddy with an IE. And I'm also on Amazon now.
Oh, great.
So you can find it on Amazon. Those are the two places I know of you can get a Quick Caddy.
Well, getting it on Amazon is huge.
It was a lot of work to even try to get it on Amazon.
Oh, I bet. All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun, and I wish you all the luck in the world. Quickcaddy.com. What's what are your other things that you want to invent here? What do you got coming up next?
What do I have coming up next? Oh, they're secret.
It's a smart thing to do on a podcast.
I did want to tell you one other thing that I found out at the trade show I was at. Somebody from this company called Formula Putting said, "Oh, I just saw an article on a golf wheel." And I'm like, "You're kidding." And Arnold Palmer had a golf wheel in 1966. And it was called Team Up with Arnold Palmer. And I saw a picture of it in the article, and he had a lot of tips on there, and it was also made of paper, and it was also fraying, and it was also a little hard to read. But Arnold Palmer had a golf wheel.
Wow. So now you could say that you beat Arnold Palmer.
Right. I beat him. Yeah. So I also have a discount for your listeners.
Oh, please. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you for going to Quick Caddy. Well, wait, before we go there, that's a tease. Okay. You said earlier you had a Golf Pro story that you wanted to share. I want to get that. And we'll do it right after this. Okay, so I want to bring that back. You talked about having a Golf Pro story, and it's probably because you introduced this concept to various people and got their feedback on it. Am I
correct?
Okay.
Correct. I worked with Peter Longo, and he's a king of clubs. He's a trick shot artist.
Okay.
And he's really, both Joe and Peter, who I worked with, are great people and great pros. And he actually was kind enough to write a testimonial on my website for me.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
You can see him. He's got a show on WGN TV. You can also hear him on the radio.
Oh, wow.
And he does some crazy kind of golf shots.
Well, that's a good testimonial to get. So I interrupted you. We're offering Golf Smarter listeners a discount on the Quick Caddy.
Yes, and it's going to be a surprise. So if they put in the word Golf Smarter, all one word, they'll find their discount.
Well, that's an incentive to go and check that out. So go to quickcaddy.com and check out, and go ahead and make the purchase, because it's not going to be $19.95, I guess.
No, it won't.
Okay, good. That's a good thing to know. And on your checkout, put in Golf Smarter, and you'll get a big surprise. So, Karen, thanks so much. Best of luck with this. This is a lot of fun.
You.
Great idea. Let us know when the next versions come out. If we get some other versions that have more tips or different types of tips, I'd love to know about it.
All right, I will. Thanks for having me. That was really nice of you.
So, full disclosure on this one. This episode was recorded just about 5 months ago, and it was pre-pandemic lockdown, but I know that the Quick Caddy is still available at quickcaddy.com. I've asked Karen about the discount that you get with the coupon code Golf Smarter, but it's still a surprise for all of us. Now, I've taken Quick Caddy on the course with me, and whenever I pulled it out for reference, I didn't find it to be a ton of help for me. I like the product. My suggestion, if you're interested in pursuing a possible product idea, Richard Todd, longtime Golf Smarter listener, guest, and author of The Golf Rules, are you listening? My idea would be different content. What I'd like to see are answers to what seems to be asked more than anything else on the golf course: rulings. I'm not sure about you, but how often do you or someone in your foursome ever call out, "How do I hit this shot?" If you do, then this is a great product and a super gift for you. But a quick reference guide to rulings would be of great help. OB, white stakes, red stakes, unplayable lie, playing out of divots. Can we agree to adjusting rules before the round begins? What are my options and penalties for a variety of situations on the course? My 2 cents. I want to remind you again that if you'd like a free copy of Tony Manzoni's video, The Lost Fundamental, which is only available from Golf Smarter anywhere in the world, I've got a very simple offer. If you could please write an honest review in Apple Podcasts, actually wherever you get Golf Smarter from is good, but realistically, Apple Podcasts represents where the vast majority of our listeners subscribe to the show. So it really does have an impact. Word of mouth and getting reviews not only helps other listeners find us, but feedback is also used to rank podcasts, and your comments keep us relevant in the podcast searches. So please, just write a review in Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app and share it with me via Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or email. And then I'll send you a link to Tony Manzoni's Lost Fundamental video as my thanks for your being a Golf Smarter ambassador. Now, this week alone, there have been some wonderful reviews submitted to Apple Podcasts, and I've only asked for this a week ago, but you need to share them with me to get your gift. So, DMacNini, New York, DMACNYNY, or JBox91, thank you so much, but I can't send you the video link until I get your email address, so please write me, okay? And I'd really like to share just this one because it's comments like this from Pittsburgh Dave 1, whom I also need his email address, that warm my heart and my wife's heart, my kids, and really motivate me to continue. And he says, hands down, my favorite and most listened to podcast is Golf Smarter and Golf Smarter Mulligans with Fred Green. Being a golfer that has suffered for many years going from instructor to instructor, swing to swing with poor results, I've found his content and guests have helped my game immensely. His broadcasting style, I should read that with that voice, huh? His broadcasting style, temperament, and sense of humor keeps me tuning in every week. I've listened to every show. Wow. Quote, before Fred, I played golf a few times a year and struggled to break 100. With Fred, I've got renewed interest and excitement with golf. I'm now regularly scoring in the low 90s to upper 80s with my goal to get down into the 70s and really enjoying myself. Thank you, Fred, for all you do. I must also mention and thank you for bringing Tony Manzoni into my world. The single pivot swing has changed my life. Thank you, Dave from Pittsburgh. And please let me know who you are so I can write back to you. That was really, that was awesome. Thank you. It blows my mind. This week on Golf Smarter Mulligans number 67, we talked to PGA Tour instructor Dean Thompson, who came up with an incredible putting aid that made the top 5 in the Golf Channel's For Inventors Only reality show. Remember that show? I loved that show. Here's a short sample of my conversation with Dean Thompson. How many iterations of the machine did you go through till you felt comfortable calling it the perfect putting machine?
You know, we called it that from the start. Even the first prototype was made from Home Depot, plumbing parts, 2x4s, L brackets, and carriage made from all the same. I took it to the putting green for the first time on a secluded putting green in Los Angeles, and I think I made 40 putts in a row.
Whoa. From what distance did you make those 40 in a row?
About 10 feet. And that's really what the machine's designed for. The machine's not designed to make 40-footers. The machine's designed to make those putts that really are the scoring putts. 30-footer is a distance putt. You'd rather be 2 feet off on your line on a 30-footer and have perfect distance because that's going to leave you a 2-footer.
Right.
If you hit the edge of the hole and you're 6 feet off on your speed, you're going to have a 6-footer. You know, at that point with intellectual property, I literally just picked it up and ran to my car because I didn't want anyone to see it. I didn't want, to kind of become public domain. So it was quite a beginning.
That's episode 67 featuring Dean Thompson coming out this Friday. Both Golf Smarter and Golf Smarter Mulligans are free and available wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Hear new episodes of Golf Smarter each Tuesday and Golf Smarter Mulligans every Friday. Lastly, make sure to register for our next giveaway, a custom fit and custom created wedge from Edison Wedges, courtesy of our last week's guests, Terry the Wedge Guy Kaler, and edisonwedges.com. Deadline to enter is midnight Pacific Time, 3 a.m. Eastern, Sunday, August 9th, 2020. And then we'll announce your name as the winner on episode number 753. To enter, go to golfsmarter.com and click on the Enter Now banner at the top of the page. To report your podcast reviews to me, So that I can send you that video, please use @GolfSmarter on social media or just click on the Hey Fred button at golfsmarter.com.